for Titans.
Who bows to who?
Kong bows to no one.
The world needs Kong.
There's something provoking into war.
Alright guys, what's going on? Today's video is going to be about the track intake that I made for the Ram and the results that we had at the track. We were at the track on Saturday or something. No, it was actually Saturday, yes. And we could not hook again. Still had traction issues, very bad, same as prior. So we're going to look into that a little bit deeper. I already got that coming. That'll be the next video right after this one, that what we have that could help and what I think is going to be better. But today's video is about the track intake that we made and how much it actually helped or whatnot. I'm going to go through everything and I'm going to show you what I made, how I made it, and I'm going to compare it to the old Whipple cold air intake, guys. What we're going to do right now is we're going to get a cold start in the Ram. We haven't done that in a little bit. I'm just going to do the cold start from out here. I don't feel like setting up a stand. I don't have remote start. So just give me a minute and we'll get a start on it. All right. Haven't had a cold start in a minute, guys. When I start this thing, I prime the pumps because we have a check valve in the line. I turn it off. I try to prime it really good. Sounds so good. My favorite exhaust I've ever done is this AWE exhaust for these Rams. Yes, it's extra loud. Some people don't like it this loud. It's not my daily driver. I like it this loud. Oh, she looks good, guys. She looks good. All right, guys. Let me show you what this track intake. I just had the truck start and obviously just turned it off. There's the track intake. Now, if you guys knew it before, we had the Whipple cold air intake. I'm going to show an overlay of what it looked like right now. Okay. So, here's what we did. We actually rerouted the catch can a little bit better, too. This catch can was routed a little off. Fixed that, no problem. This is the new coolant overflow tank, which the stock one actually sits in here, but we couldn't sit it in there because that is where the track intake goes. Yes, you're probably looking at this, guys. Yeah, I cut into it so the bell mouth could actually sit a little bit flatter into the velocity stack bell mouth, whatever you want to call it, actually sits into the grill a little bit better, a little bit stronger. I didn't like how it was sitting out. It was like sitting out a little bit further. So you have to cut into your honeycomb grill, and there's plastic on the grill. Let's see if you can see it. You might be able to see it. Yeah, I might be able to see. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this got to get cut so you can route the. As you can tell, she's dirty. No big deal. I'm going to get touch-up paint and fix all that, make it look nice and pretty. So yeah, the track intake runs this way, and I already had a previous hole from the track intake when I used to run NA. So it's not, as you can see, I had to direct it a little bit there. See, it's a little bit of a swivel. And run up in here. Now, what I do when I'm at the track, guys, as you can see, we have a filter on at all times. I take the filter off, take this off, loosen this, and all I do is twist this, take this coupler, ride it up, and it's one big piece of pipe. And it, on this boosted setup, this is the first time I'm running it on the boosted setup. I ran it on the NA setup, picked up huge. I'm going to go over exactly how much it picked up and the difference it made from the Whipple cold air intake. And you will, guys, like I said, if you coolant overflow tank, they make cheap $6 ones, which the plastic bottom piece broke off, so I bought this one. It's a nice aluminum steel, whatever the hell it is. I think it's steel. Bolt on, nice, screws tight, everything's good. Like that a lot better. It was $30, Amazon, great. So yeah, let's talk. I'm going to tell you the difference in results from the track intake. All right, guys. Now the main reason to run a track intake, number one, is only if you take it to the track. Don't put on a track intake. You're just going to run on the street and all this and that. You're not getting results. You're not getting ET. You're not going for any type of record. There's really no need to run it. That's just my personal opinion. I think it'd be dumb to run your car without a filter on the street. At the track, it's different. You're only going to that quarter-mile hit. You're not driving, you know, other rocks, things kicking up. You're the only ones driving. You're the only ones there. Just air's getting sucked in. Now, the reason I did the track intake on the Whipple now is because to help lower IETs. That's the number one reason you want to make the track intake. And on the NA setup, it picked up. Yes, we definitely picked up, but we didn't pick up as much as I think we did on this setup. Now, the reason I say we picked up so much on this setup is because Saturday we actually ran our highest 8th mile per hour, and we tied basically our regular mile per hour. Our quarter mile per hour, and we tied the 8th mile per hour and the quarter mile per hour, spinning through the 60 foot into God knows whenever I finally started hooking up and going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. I don't even know the exact number. So that's what really, you know, was great to me, because if we dead hooked off the line, we could have easily, I think, did like a 102, 103 through the 8th, and, you know, 127 through the quarter mile into the 10s, yeah, obviously easily. But we're having severe traction issues still to this time. We have not got a clean pass on this new tune. We are still, you know, we only got clean passes on the conservative tune, which was the conservative tune. I call it the 11.0 tune. We ran 11.0s like 5 times on that tune. It was great. And we ran it in decent weather. So we could have, I think we could still get a 10 out of the conservative tune, 10.9 probably, in amazing weather. But I'm not trying to backtrack. We're trying to hook up with the power that we have now. So we have a much better tune. We even have a hot tune that we haven't tried yet, because we can't hook it on a middle tune. There's no sense of trying a hot tune if you can't hook on a medium tune, I guess you can call it. So yeah, the IETs, and we were also, they definitely lowered. I didn't actually look at the log yet, but you don't always need to look at the log to see what your IETs are, because we're pushed. This is a straight, you know, run right to the throttle body, no filter. The filter restricts a lot of air, which it's supposed to. You don't want nothing coming in. Obviously, I got pure air coming in, so it's literally blowing that on that sensor, lowering your IETs. Lowering your IETs equals more power. Now, what I think is the greatest, we ran our best mile per hour in like negative 1,000 DA. It was crazy. It was like 40 degrees out. We had our best mile per hour there before we did the track intake. Now that we did the track and we did it hooking, we're running faster mile per hour. And I know this because the last couple times we were at the track, even though we weren't hooking, we're still running higher mile per hour both times. So yeah, the track intake, guys, is definitely helping. So I would say, you know, if you're a track guy, you're running your RAM, you're definitely doing a Pro Charger, even NA. It's still definitely gonna help. So we definitely picked up great. Very happy with the results of the track intake. There is another filter that Stuart told me about. It's called a conial filter. You can actually stick it in the bell mouth, and you can leave the piping connected. It's like a cone filter. I'll show a little picture of it up here. It's like a cone filter. You actually stick it in the bell mouth, and then when you get to the track, you just like pull it back out instead of having to bring your thing, twist the pipe and all that. But I'm not too sure. You know, supposedly it fits in the 4-inch bell mouth, velocity stack, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so we're probably going to get that eventually. Right now, no, we just bought something else that I'll have a video on in a couple of days after this video gets made. And yeah, that's pretty what we got for today, guys. Yeah, so the track intake, like I said, great, very happy with it. It did good at the track. We just got to plant the power. We're making a good amount of power, and we are heavy. So between those two things, we got to get the traction situation down. I think what we have is going to help even more than the suspension. And Matt Fekak from Most Performance, he wants me to double check all my bolts for my control arms, brackets, everything. He was telling me a story about someone had theirs loose and they were doing the same thing I was, blowing the tires off. He tightened them up, put new brackets on, dead hooking every run, popping wheelies like it was nothing. That's what we're going to do. Once this thing hooks, it's going to fucking run mid to low 1/460 foot. And my opinion on this tune, I think we can get like a 10.7 out of it. Maybe, you know, maybe even better. I don't know exactly. Put the hot tune on, who knows? And we're still only on 12, 13 pounds of boost. So I don't know exactly. I don't even know if we actually picked up any boost from having the velocity stack. We might have picked up a pound. Might have picked up half a pound. Might have picked up nothing. I don't know. I actually did not look at the gauge when I was racing. Obviously, I was paying attention to the road and other things. So yeah, I didn't look at the gauge. I will take a look at that for next when I'm on the street. I'll even do it on the street. I'll throw it on the street, just do a quick little run to see if we actually pick up any boost from having the bell mouth over the, like, you know, they say, because even on like you're picking up 50 horsepower. I'm not saying I picked up 50, but some setups you're picking up 50 horsepower, they say, with a velocity stack instead of an air filter. Who knows? Maybe I picked up a good amount. I don't know. I'm just very happy with the results. So that's good. That's one good thing that came out of the bad track day of spinning. So hopefully we can get back to the track. I'm not gonna be able to go this weekend, guys. I got a big side job coming up this weekend, and I want to knock that out, and you know, it'll help pay for some things. So I got a big side job coming up this weekend. Work all next weekend. Work rest of this week. Just a lot of work. 2 kids. It's hard to make the videos. Hard to get to the track like I want. So, but I'm hoping to get there, not this weekend, next weekend, the 20th or 19th, whatever weekend that is. Hopefully I can get there that weekend, and we can test out the new stuff that we got, and, you know, hopefully even get a personal best. You know, we're still 11,030 is our personal best. I'll know that number because we have never hit a 10. And we're running great even in the heat. That's the other thing. The DA on Saturday was 2,500, and we ran our best mile per hour over negative DA. So I know it picked up. So in cold weather, it's going to be even better because you're sucking in cold. Like when we're racing in cold weather, the cold air is going to go right into that air intake and lower that temperature good, and we're going to pick up some power. We're definitely going to pick up some power in the colder weather with the boosted application. So really happy, guys. Yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for in a couple of days. I got the next video coming out. I already got it, what I'm looking for in the garage, but I'm going to do the video in a couple of days, guys. So stay tuned, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.